guys, it's your new best friend Ceiba, and if you haven't noticed yet, I got a new haircut. And today I'm gonna show you how I style my hair since I got it cut short. It's actually grown out a couple inches since I got it cut. Since you guys saw me last, I got a new haircut, new glasses, a new makeup routine, which you're gonna see in the next video. And I also got a new piercing. Look at this baby. Let me see if you can see it better on this side. I have 3 little silver hoops, and I have my little baby up here, and I'm gonna get one more, and then I think that's it for my ear piercings. So if you see me looking past the camera, it's because I have a mirror back there, and obviously I need to see myself to curl my hair. But before I start curling, I just want to remind you guys first, hit that subscribe button to become part of the squad, and also hit the notification bell so that you never miss a chance to come hang out with me. And if you're already excited and you think that I look good with short hair, hit that like button. And if you think that I don't look good with short hair, hit the like button anyways, please. Thank you. Okay, right at my ears, I'm sectioning off a piece, and we're gonna focus on this bottom layer down here. Now, when I first got my haircut, this bottom layer was not as long as it is now. It was basically like 2 inches. Let me take out my glasses so I can really get in there. So this bottom layer was right above. Sorry guys, someone is having a fashion crisis. So we're using my little baby here. This is the Conair Insta-Heat curling iron. It has a little turbo thing. It has like the numbers like up to 25. I don't know what that means, but I keep it on the highest setting because I only have it on have my hair on it for a couple seconds. We're going for kind of a loose, like faking my oh my god. Anyways, so this little Conair curling iron, which I already have heating up, is 3/4 of an inch. Basically, what I'm doing is grabbing super miniature pieces, and we're gonna put beach waves into them. So I put my arm over my head, and I just wrapped a little piece of hair around it. Hold, and release. Next, we take another piece of hair, and it just really doesn't matter the size. I mean, I try not to get more than like 1 inch of hair into my little curls, but if you do, just hold it on a little bit longer so your curls can stay better. I like to have a bunch of different sizes of curls. Oh my god. Hold it for a couple seconds and release. And basically I just do this over and over. The bottom layer is pretty quick. So let me finish off the bottom layer. Actually, let me finish off like the last couple layers and then I'll come back. Okay guys, so I did the bottom 2 layers. I just have the top 2 layers to do now. What I do is I release my hair, and then I start like at this little crown of my head, and I part that back, and then I'm gonna go ahead and clip this out of the way. I kind of wanted to take advantage of this little video just to talk to you guys about myself as a person and why I've been gone for so long. I think this video, in the last video, I thought the last video was going up first, but I think now that I'm doing this video is going up first. I needed to take kind of some personal time away from YouTube, just because YouTube is almost like a whole job, you know? From setting up to filming to editing, I would say if I'm doing a video and I'm getting it out like the next day, it's at least like an 18-hour process for me. And now I'm accepting clients more. I'm just like getting my career out there. So I needed to take a little break from YouTube. And besides that, I had some stuff going on in my personal life. So I really want to know where to start when it comes to me, because I don't like really talking about myself. Like, I like to talk about myself, you know, I like to update people on my life when it comes to my career, but when it comes to like things that have happened to me and just things that I've gone through. I really don't like to be the person that like tells everyone my business. Around the time that I did my last video, I was going through a pretty weird breakup, and it was something that I kind of needed for myself. I had a rough time with Venus retrograde season because it's like in your relationships, like everyone is doubting themselves and all that kind of stuff. And personally, I like to communicate things, and I was just having a really hard time like getting people, like my friends and people I was talking to communicate with me the way that I like to handle things, you know, because I'm an adult now and I don't just like blow up and walk away from situations like I used to when I was a teenager. For those of you who don't know, well, most of you probably don't know because I don't talk about myself. I went to UC Riverside for a year out of high school. I went in for electrical engineering, and I had like all my engineering classes, and I was like average. I was alright, you know? But I hated it, and I really didn't want to be there, and I had a hard time being away from my family. So after that year in college, I came home. I would say that year that I was going to school was possibly like one of the worst years of my life. Like I had never had a year as bad as that one. And I really needed to come home. I needed my parents, you know. That year that I was in college, we experienced multiple deaths in the family. And my boyfriend died. So but it's been a couple years since that, and I graduated high school 2016. 2017 was the year that I went to college, so it was 2016 to 2017. And in the middle of my college year, my boyfriend died, and that was really hard for me because I didn't know how to cope with that kind of loss. You know, I was 19, and I don't know, like your boyfriend's not supposed to die when you're 19, you know? So that was hard in itself. And then on top of that, I was going to school, and I had, like, he died 2 days before finals, so I took my finals and I failed my finals. And I came home, and I remember when I went back to school, like my roommates were expecting me, and I remember I got there and they met me downstairs, and they actually met me like in the parking lot, and they just like held me for a bit. And I'm so thankful to them for being there for me through that time. And then after that, I had one of the hardest quarters of my entire student experience. Like from freaking high school until college, my last quarter of college was one of the worst quarters I've ever been through. I was failing everything, and I didn't want to be there. When I was first starting college, I didn't realize that, like, I mean, I knew I didn't want to go to college, but I didn't realize that you can't just force yourself to go to school. You know, college is not for everyone. So I went there, and I was, you know, being a college student and having college experiences. And I was also having experiences that I shouldn't have been having at that age. Being there took like a huge toll on my mental health that last quarter. After my boyfriend died and we had experience, I couldn't be there anymore. So when I got an email that I was on probation because my grades, you know, I was freaking failing all my classes because I was having such a hard time, and I was struggling with my mental health, and I like wasn't eating. And then I kind of assessed my situation, and I was like, I didn't want to go to college in the first place, so why am I here? And I thought about it, and I told my dad, while I'm on probation, they revoked my financial aid because I couldn't keep my grades up. Sorry, I couldn't keep my grades up, so they took my financial aid. I told him, I was like, I'm not gonna go back to school. And then he was upset at first. He got over it, and then maybe a week later, I told my mom, I was like, I'm not going back to school. And then she was like, I don't know. But basically, they said they knew that adult life was going to be hard for me because everyone knows that I have anxiety. Like, I've always been an anxious person, even as a kid. Like, I was overly cautious, and it sucks because I was fine. And then I had like these horrible experiences, and I realized that life is too short to be doing a bunch of stuff that isn't gonna make you happy. And I even tried changing my major. Like, I went from engineering to economics, and I hated that too. I hated everything about college. Like, I was dead set. I knew what I wanted, and I wanted to focus on making people feel beautiful, because when I was a kid, you know, I was ugly and I was chubby and I had crooked teeth and I wore glasses, all that stuff. I wasn't the prettiest, and I'm aware of that. And so it was a huge journey for me, and a very long journey, to feel beautiful in my skin. And I wanted people to feel that about themselves as well. I've always loved makeup, and I love being able to basically create a whole new persona every time I put like colors on my face. So I decided I wanted to be a makeup artist, and I started practicing freelancing on my cousins and my sisters. And that's the one good thing about being the oldest in my family of 7. Well, there's 8 grandchildren, but 7 girls. That I have so many people to practice on. So I practiced freelancing for a while, and then I made business cards, and I started putting myself out there, and I slowly but surely started getting clients. So now I'm freelancing, and I also got the chance to, my dad took advantage of the fact that I'm staying home now. I do administration work for him. He has a little security company. Just basically making that decision for myself was one of the most important things I've ever done in my life. That decision to no longer continue to go to school was the first adult decision that I ever made that was for me, for like the good of my own health and not just to make someone else happy. Anyways, hold please. Now that I'm done with this, I'm just gonna let my hair cool down and continue talking, and then we're gonna play with it a little, and you guys are gonna see the finished look. So, let me put my glasses on because I can't see. I feel like I'm so much more calm, way less agitated. I have way less panic attacks than I was having. Since I was 13, 14, I was like having panic attacks at least every week. And the last mental breakdown I had, it was really bad. But, you know, I stayed in bed a couple days, and then I snapped back, and I haven't had a breakdown that bad ever since. And I feel like that's like a huge part of growing up. Realizing that you needed to do something for yourself. Okay, I'm brushing my hair out now with my fingers. Because I've always kind of had anxiety, I like deciding not to go to school, even though it was for me and it was for nobody else but me, gave me like I had an anxiety attack. I basically had a mental breakdown, stayed in bed for like 3 days. And I didn't want to eat. And I didn't want to I wasn't really sleeping. I was just freaking out over the fact that I wasn't following the same path that all the people in my generation were following. You know, all my peers from high school stayed in college. Like, all my friends stayed in college. And so I ended up by myself basically for a year. It gave me a lot of time to focus on my craft, and I started up my YouTube channel. My dad gave me a camera for my birthday, which was super generous. With my grants that I got to go to school, I was only paying $5,000. Like, I only paid $5,000 that year out of pocket. Well, it was more like $6,000. And if I had stayed there and tried to figure out paying for freaking 3 to 4 more years of school without financial aid, because obviously like they took my financial aid away because I couldn't keep my grades up, I think I would have possibly, like, I wouldn't be here right now, and I wouldn't be the same person that I am today. And I feel like I have to be really thankful to me 2 years ago for making the decision not to go back to school, because I knew since high school, I knew I didn't want to go. And I tried to look into options, and in high school, when you're there, you know, when you're a senior, they push you into applying to schools, and they push you into going to college and getting your degree, and that's not for everyone, and that's okay. Like, they don't tell you that it's okay not to go to college, you know. There's trade schools, and there's like so much other stuff that you can do that's not like going to a 4-year university and paying $40,000 a year. Now that I'm freelancing, I'm saving up money to go to beauty school and get certified. I feel like my eyes are so much more open to adult life. I feel more prepared now, because I feel like now I know, like, I have a plan to do something that I love, and doing makeup just does that for me. And it's not just making people feel pretty, it's like the reaction that people have when they see themselves for the first time after you do their makeup, you know, and they're like, wow, like, I look so different. I've had people tell me I didn't know I could be this beautiful, and I gave that to them. And even if it's just temporary, being in a field where I get to talk to people one-on-one for a living makes me really feel like I'm making a difference. And I feel like I'm making more of a difference now than I would have been freaking working in an office, you know, in engineering. Anyways, but besides that, I'm 20. I'm turning 21 January 23rd. So if you guys remember, wish me a happy 21st. Probably not doing anything for my birthday. I like the color green. I'm 5'10". I'm plus size, which, like, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with, but whatever. That's me. My social medias are in the description. If you have anything you can relate to, talk about it in the comments below. If you ever just need to talk to someone, hit me up on my socials, you know. I'm pretty friendly, I like to think, mostly. Unless you're a straight guy, just kidding. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Before you leave, hit that subscribe button to become a part of the squad. Also hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance of coming out with me. And if you think my hair looks cute like this, and if you think you might try this hairstyle, or if I made you want to get a haircut, hit that like button, you know? And if you can't relate to any of the things I just said, hit the like button anyways. Alright guys, that's it for today. See you in the next one.